So I'm here with Larry, my other brother Larry, for all you Newhart fans out there. Might be a little younger crowd than Newhart out there, but...
So we have to change your name to Daryl.
Daryl,
Yeah, exactly. Our brother Daryl.
So if you know this guy, this is Larry. Luscious Larry, the lawyer, Michigan Biker Law. He's the head lawyer. I'm the second in charge lawyer. As soon as I pass that pesky bar exam.
One more step.
Yeah. 10 times the charm. That's right. So, he agreed to come out and talk to me today graciously with the other Larry from Apex Insurance Services from the Baldwin area. And we're going to, with the year coming up, approaching quickly, I wanted to get with Larry, the insurance guy, and Larry, the lawyer guy, to tell you guys what the nuances of insuring your bike properly to where it either makes your job super easy or what could go wrong and make your job super involved, right? Which hopefully, Larry, I love you, but hopefully none of you ever have to call the guy. But if you go down, he gets it, he rides, everyone with him rides. So he gets it. So let's say, what is and I know with Michigan there's some quirky shit with motorcycles aren't motorized vehicles, blah, blah, yada, blah. I mean, there's a lot of language in the legislation that is not great for motorcyclists.
Correct.
And I don't know if that's in other states as well, but I know in Michigan it's pretty shitty thing to have. So it's a gauntlet you got to run, right?
It is. So I'm going to let Larry speak about the actual statutes as far as motorcycles not being motor vehicles.
Sure. So, like Brandon said, motorcycles are not motor vehicles, which means that the way that the laws and the way that your insurance actually applies to you as a motorcyclist is completely different than if you're in your own automobile. You could have what you believe to be great insurance on your bike in terms of having a very high policy in terms of a coverage, but if you're involved in an accident with someone that has very poor insurance, oftentimes your coverage is going to be coming from that other motorcycle or that other motor vehicle, because again, motorcyclists are not considered motor vehicles. So it goes to the motor vehicle involved in the accident, which would be from that other driver. So you are at the mercy and the whim of whatever that other driver on the road happens to have.
If they have any.
If they have any.
If
that's
like no fault, you get $400 and I don't know.
Right.
So what do they consider the motorcycles if they're not considered motor vehicles?
What's that?
What do they consider the motorcycles if they're not considered motor vehicles? That might be
just a non-motor vehicle.
So like a pedal bike, it can almost count as.
Yeah, anything that mopeds, pedal bikes, a pedestrian. I mean, you're basically not a motor vehicle.
So you're in that category.
Right. So if you're walking down the road, you get hit by a car, your coverage is going to be coming from that car. If you're on the road as a motorcyclist and you get hit by a car, your coverage is coming from that car. So you're kind of in that classification of it as basically a second-class citizen in the state of Michigan.
Which is dumb, but I mean, that's what people have voted for, right?
Right. Yep. That's the law, and unfortunately, until that changes, you need to protect yourself by, having the right coverage or the best coverage that you possibly can have, that in the event that you're either hit by someone that has poor insurance or no insurance, that you can have some additional coverages in place.
So side note real quick, this is why it's so important to join the MRF and ABATE, so you can learn the laws and you can see what's going on in the legislation and vote to change them to better yourself. Anyway, that's my soapbox. I'll get off it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Motorcycle Riders Foundation is critical, and so is ABATE. And people think that the helmet law gone, now ABATE's done, but join them. It's important to be part of that community and be in the know and protect your own rights the best you can. So that said, all right, that was a lot. Right,
well, before we even there was talk last year about bringing the helmet law back.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There was a couple of studies that came out that showed the increase of injuries, helmets versus non-helmets. And every news media you hear, if a motorcycle in an accident, they always say he wasn't wearing a helmet. There's some huge bias there. So,
for sure.
Yes, we currently have no helmet law here, but that doesn't mean that won't change.
Yeah, it can be taken away again.
Exactly. Yep.
And it was 30-something year fight to get it
Yep.
to riders decide. I don't wear a helmet, but people probably should. Statistics don't lie, right? So it's You don't want to get in a neck brace and have to do this all the time.
Not a good way to be.
No, not at all. So, but so you know my background. I was a paramedic for 30 years.
Yeah, so you've seen it.
I've seen it. I don't wear a helmet either. It's a personal choice.
Sure.
And we live in a society where, as a rider, I should be able to make that choice.
I don't disagree. It's not their business. I mean, other than helping to clean up off the. But
Anyway, so
what is? Explain what a prepared motorcyclist has in their policy.
So, as an insurance agent, the worst thing that I hate to hear is, oh, I'm 100% covered. Well, yes and no. Yeah, wrong. So, Michigan is an unusual state, and we have PIP coverage, okay, personal injury protection. And a lot of people think that if I'm involved in a motorcycle accident, I've got my health insurance and I've got medical coverage on my insurance plan. Those are great for your injuries. You know, the broken leg, the hospital stay, the rehab. The scenario I give to a lot of my clients and people who are coming to me for a quote, okay, if you're involved in a motorcycle accident and you're paralyzed, you get out of the hospital, you get out of rehab, you show up to home to finally be back with your family. How are you going to get your wheelchair in the house?
Right.
Most homes have steps. Most doors are 34 or 36-inch doors. Most wheelchairs are wider than that. PIP is what's going to pay to have that ramp built so you can now get into your house. They're going to widen the door so you can get in your house. They're going to widen the door and put bars in the bathroom so you can use the restroom in your own home. Your medical insurance, your homeowner's insurance, none of that's going to pay for that.
I mean, they could even be paying for a van, a special transportation van.
Right.
There's a lot of coverage that you would not get through non-auto type coverage, PIP coverage.
Right. And, in today's world, don't get me wrong, I pay insurance just like you do. I got 2 vehicles, 2 motorcycles. Every month when I'm scrolling through my checking account and I see insurance company, and I went, ouch. But the reality is, I ride, my wife rides, we ride with our grandkids. If something does happen, nothing upsets me more than seeing a GoFundMe on Facebook because somebody's now in a wheelchair and their home needs modification because they decided to save $200 a year and select the lowest level of PIP coverage they could get.
Is there an unlimited PIP?
There is.
Okay.
There
So
is.
you should always select the unlimited.
Always unlimited.
It's on your motor vehicle.
Yes.
That's the important part, is that you doesn't really matter what you have on your motorcycle or you believe you have on your motorcycle. You have to have the unlimited medical on your automobile, so that way, if the other driver has a limited amount or no insurance or no PIP coverage, you can then go to your own automobile for potentially unlimited.
So it seemed like there was a big push a few years ago to lower insurance rates by lowering your PIP.
There was.
And I felt like a scam to me. I'm like, I want to be covered. I don't mean, like you said, the extra $200 a year.
I won't say it's a scam. It was the states, everybody was complaining about Michigan's high cost of insurance. So our legislators, the people that we've elected, that don't necessarily ride or understand riders, there are a couple of them, that are legislators that are very motorcycle friendly, but they decided to, and it had always been unlimited PIP, they decided to give people the option of lower PIP levels. Now, most insurance companies, when you renew every 6 months, they send you a form that you have to elect what levels of PIP you want. If you have less than unlimited, you have to sign a form that you're electing less than PIP, or less than unlimited. And what I've also seen is, well, some people don't know, if you're on Medicare and or Medicaid, you can actually go 0 PIP. So think about that. If you're on Medicare, and it's not just, you don't have to be just 65. If you're on disability, you can have Medicare. So you can be, I've got a disabled son who's 40 years old and he's on Medicare, Fortunately, he doesn't ride. But if he did, he could technically select 0 PIP coverage. And a lot of insurance agents and a lot of insurance companies, oh, here, we're going to save you money. Sign right here.
Yeah,
They don't explain it to you.
that's what I meant when it felt like it.
Yes.
When I renewed something, they were like, well,
And that's the nice part about our agency. So we've got offices in Baldwin, Houghton, Lake, and Gladwin, okay? We've got 4 owners. All 4 of us ride and are active in the motorcycle community.
good.
That is, we travel all over the country on our motorcycles. So if you don't know, your insurance, even if you're out of state, is going to cover you if you're in another state. So, I'll say it, we're passionate about making sure riders are covered the way they should be covered.
Okay. So is the lack of PIP coverage something you see a whole ton of, or is it?
Yeah, the lack of PIF coverage, the smaller amounts of third party or uninsured or underinsured coverage. A lot of bikers are riding around without any of that as well. And PIP is separate from bodily injury or third party policies. But essentially, if you have an underinsured or uninsured policy on your bike, depending on what that other rider or the other driver has, you can come back to your own policy for coverage. And that's like what most people are thinking about in terms of pain and suffering, significant changes to your lifestyle, things that are not like medical bills, coverage.
se.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all medical bills at that point, right?
Right.
But so you think someone should have unlimited PIP coverage on their vehicle? What about a motorcycle? What should they cover on their bike to cover their ass? I mean, because again, there's the nuance. It's not a motor vehicle. We've already established that. So how do you insure it?
We always recommend full unlimited PIP across the board. That way, insurance is about, the concept of insurance is about making you whole again after an accident, a claim. Okay, whether it's homeowners insurance, auto insurance, whatever it is. That's the thought process behind insurance. The more coverage you have, the easier it is for people like Larry to do their job.
Yeah.
And ultimately what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people the benefits that they need to make them whole, to
Correct.
get them back to where they were for someone else's
some semblance of a normal life.
Yes.
Exactly.
Injuries.
And, as you can imagine, like insurance, Larry, just mentioned, those, when we went from unlimited PIP coverage that you could opt and now you can elect to get less than that. I mean, a couple nights stay in a hospital or a couple surgeries, you're all of a sudden well above that $250,000. So then all of a sudden, maybe you're relying upon your own health insurance to pick up the remainders of the bills, and your health insurance is not going to cover the same types of care that you might need or the same amount of care that you might need that you would get from PIP. One other thing that is a big deal too is that if you have a limited amount of PIP that you're able to utilize, and then you're having to rely on your health insurance can then come back and actually file a lien against any type of settlement that you might get. So all of a sudden you might think, all right, well, I'm going to get my medical bills paid. I'm going to get the settlement from the at-fault driver. Well, because so much of your medical bills are paid by your health insurance.
Say not so fast.
Right. Give it to us
Yeah.
first. And unfortunately, that's, under the law, they're entitled to that because you've opted to have less than that unlimited coverage that's out there. So again, in Michigan Biker Law, we stress really 3 main things. You got to have unlimited medical coverage on your automobile. You got to have uninsured motorist benefits and underinsured motorist benefits. And even if it's $250, ask your agent to look and see what $500 would cost or $1 million would cost, because my wife and I did that a few years ago, and it was not. Every little bit counts. I'm not telling anyone to pay more insurance than they have to.
Sure.
But the difference to go from $250 to $1 million was kind of a no-brainer for us.
Right.
Just because of the protection that it provides to you in the event that someone comes after you, but then also coverage for yourself as well. It's unfortunately, I see people a lot of times too late. And I see people when they've opted to try to save $1 here or there, and that's the worst. The worst phone call I get is from someone that says, I have all these horrible injuries, and then I have to say, but I can only get you this because that's all there's there. And there's nothing
All of a
that,
sudden you're the bad guy.
Every once in a while. Usually it's when I go home, but
Yeah.
sometimes at the office
Yeah.
too.
But Brendan, thank you for doing this, because again, getting the word out.
Yeah.
We're coming into riding season, and a lot of people, their policies renew within this 3 or 4 month time frame. Now is a good time to sit down and don't use me. That's fine. I don't care if you call me or not. But if you got an insurance agent that you trust, sit down and talk to them. Don't do this over the phone. Okay, my insurance is good. Cool, thanks. Sit down and say, hey, how much more is it going to cost me to go unlimited PIP? I didn't realize I only had $250. How much is it going to cost me to go to $500,000 or $1 million in bodily injury? Be an educated consumer. Really, is what it comes down to.
So, yeah, and everybody obviously wants to save a buck.
Right.
And they think this is a place to save it. But if you're not sure, like you said, call Larry. This Larry I know has looked at insurance papers from people and said you need to up your stuff or not, what you donated. He's done it for me.
Right.
Right.
So he has no problem doing that. And if you're not sure, he works with a dozen insurers, so he knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. So give him a call.
Yep.
You can Zoom.
Free of charge?
Free of charge.
Yeah, the same with us. We don't charge anybody just to look at it and go, well, you know what? If this was my policy, here's what I would change. If you want a quote from us, again, no charge. But if you tell me, hey, you know what? I just need to know what to change. My brother sells insurance. I'm going to buy it through him. Cool. Here, go in and tell him this is what you want.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to ask, because when you think about it, an insurance company is probably selling 100 motor vehicle policies to 2-3 motorcycle policies.
Right.
And a lot of agents out there, no offense, but just like attorneys, a lot of attorneys don't know what the laws are for motorcycles. A lot of agents out there don't know how the insurance, is going to apply to a motorcyclist that gets, that purchases a particular plan. So,
right.
Talk to people that actually have some know, and whether or not you decide to use either one of us, at least have that knowledge and understanding.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing to be educated.
Yeah. And if you don't understand it, like I don't understand half the shit coming out of either one of these guys now, but I know if I handed them my paper, they'd be like, no, dude, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And that's why I'm pretty selective on who I trust with shit. So have someone look at it you trust, like you said, educated consumer. And it may seem like you're saving a dime, but you're saving a dime to spend $1 later.
Or tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, literally. In the bike community, you either have gone down or you will.
Yep.
And typically it's not great for the motorcyclists when they go down.
Injuries are bad, and medical expenses are only getting higher and higher. I mean, you're just going to hit those caps so fast that it's a no-brainer to have the unlimited.
Well, and look where you ride. I'll just about guarantee you, if you're involved in a motorcycle accident anywhere up north, you're getting a helicopter ride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those
aren't cheap.
No.
Last I checked. I've never checked, but I can only assume that
They're expensive.
Yeah.
So, again, that's just all the more reason. Even if you go up north, quote unquote, and ride in an area a couple times a year, man.
I mean, it's all about CYA. Cover your ass.
Exactly.
There are a lot of people out there, just like you talked about earlier, don't like to wear helmets. Can you imagine how much the cost of a traumatic brain injury is going to cost, and all that rehab that goes along with it? It's sad because there's so much just lack of knowledge out there, and a lot of people that rely upon information that isn't accurate.
Well, my brother's cousin told me that.
Yeah, or you hear, my club brother from Mississippi said,
Yes.
That's a whole different ballgame than Michigan, right?
Yep.
So be educated, talk to people. Larry's here for you if you need him for sure. Larry's here for you if you need him for sure. Call him for insurance, him for other stuff, legal stuff. But by all means, reach out. They're very easy, approachable. Both the guys, they both ride, they get it. They're bikers, motorcyclists.
And you see this at a lot of events.
Yeah. Yep.
Larry, the
Well, you see,
Michigan Biker Law is
Every
at
event, yeah.
every event, but you see Larry and his group out at a lot of different events too. So just stop on by, check out our website. Give us a call. Am I Biker? I mean, it's simple, but more than happy to help you out, especially as we get ready for riding season.
yeah, and I'll have a link to both you guys in the description, and we'll put up your numbers and
Okay.
contact info, and shoot them a picture of your
Deck page.
insurance.
Yep.
Yeah, say, is this cool? And they'll say yes or no, yay or nay, and this is what you can do, and if you don't do it, hey, whatever. They're
Yep.
they're not selling you on anything. They're just telling you what they recommend.
Yep.
Right.
And then, like Larry said, the deck page. When you get your insurance renewal, it's that first page that has all the numbers on it. It lists the vehicles and it has so much for this page, for this coverage. Send him or me a copy of it and we'll take a look at it and go, yeah, you might want to tweak this one a little bit. This one looks good. Just,
Can you look it up by policy number if they sent you like a proof of insurance?
no.
Okay.
No.
Can you?
No. No, we need to actually see the deck page. And you can call your agent. They can usually email it right to you.
Yep. I've actually had other agents email me customers' deck pages.
Declaration pages.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what it is. So if you're not in the biz,
Right. Don't know the lingo.
That's right.
not hip to the lingo like these fine fellas here. So, well, thanks guys for coming on.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we educate some people and they reach out and get what they need or what they want. I mean, obviously it's ultimately up to them. But,
It is.
but I can only recommend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you need anything insurance-wise or legal-wise and you're a biker, just don't call the right one. They'll connect you with the other one.
That's right.
Thanks, Larry, for coming on. Always a
Absolutely. Thank you,
pleasure,
Brendan.
brother.
Thanks for coming, brother. Appreciate it.
man. We'll see you guys out there soon. Blessing of the Bikes, a few weeks. That's kicking off the Michigan festival season.
Yep.
It is.
See you there.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right.
So,
All right, guys.
All right.